We are continuing along the road to Summer Sizzler, Wolverhampton, July 25th. Dave Bradshaw here. Delighted to be joined by the Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion, Michael Oku and Amira. Great to see you guys, as always. But it's a serious time, obviously, because you are gearing up, Michael, for that title defense at Summer Sizzler against Ricky Knight Jr. And this isn't the first time me and you have sat down this year to talk about a title defense you've got coming up. It is the first time, though, that we haven't had your opponent and you in the ring at the same time. The reason is it's been considered too much of a safety risk to have the two of you in the building together. In fact, next week you've both been barred from being at our show in Coventry, so that we can preserve the match for Summer Sizzler the following week. So I guess my opening question then is, given how intense these flames of hatred are between the two of you, is there a danger that of all your title defenses so far, this one could be the one where you let your emotions get the better of you?
Well, of course, that for sure is something I've got to consider. I always try and play it calm and cool whenever I'm against anyone, no matter what they throw at me or no matter what they throw at Amira. But Ricky's taken it too far. He's made it personal. And listen, I'm not afraid to admit that I might have done a few things that might be out of character, but I'll do whatever it takes to beat Ricky Knight Jr. again and to remain the Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion.
Now, Ricky Knight Jr.'s claims about you are that throughout this second title reign you've had, which obviously began at Uprising in December, night when he returned to the company and attacked you, that since then, you've been running scared of, to put it frankly. He says, you hand-picked Juan Mendes to be your opponent. You hand-picked Leon Slater. The thing with Tife Cooper obviously came through the tournament. But whenever you've had a chance to have an influence over who your opponent has been, Ricky Knight Jr. has not been one of the considerations. Do you want to respond to that?
You know what? To be honest, I was afraid of Ricky Knight Jr. Once upon a time, it takes a man to admit that, but I'm going to admit it in front of the camera in front of you. I was at one point afraid of Ricky Knight Jr. There is no one, and I've been in the ring with some of the hardest hitters in all of wrestling. I've been in the ring with Mendes, with Jacobs, with Jay Joshua, with Will Ospreay, with Minoru Suzuki. And I can tell you for a fact that no one has hit me harder than Ricky Knight Jr. But I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I don't have a blast jaw. I keep kicking, I keep ticking, and I'm still the champ. So what I've learned is that I can take his hits, I can take his blows, and I can come back and defeat him the same way I have every single time we've been in the ring to each other. So sure, maybe at one point I was afraid of him. But guess what? He gets a title shot. And so let's see what happens there.
So are you afraid of him now?
Not anymore. I'm done with that. No fears, nothing. I'm ready.
I mean, the reason I asked that, and I hope you don't mind me asking, but it's been a pretty torrid few months since Uprising, and even before that, when you guys had the match at Global Wars, when you became the #1 contender, an opportunity that you obviously converted into your second title reign. But particularly since Uprising, the way that Ricky Knight Jr. has just been tearing through people, attacking not just you, but your friends. Think about Nino Bryant most recently. Amir, even you. Ricky Knight Jr. has attacked during this time. So it doesn't seem entirely irrational to be a little bit scared of Ricky Knight Jr.
I'm not scared of Ricky Knight Jr. Ricky Knight Jr. is a weak, pathetic man. Because any man that decides to lay hands on him for not doing anything is weak and pathetic. Every time I've had the displeasure of speaking to Ricky Knight, it has been the worst way possible to handle any situation. But that is Ricky as a person. Ricky is the worst way to handle any situation possible. He always is his own worst enemy. This is for you, Ricky, if you're watching. Do you remember that time in February when I came out to see you in the ring and I was going to tell you something, but you wouldn't let me speak? You took the mic off me twice, then you pushed me down, and luckily JJ Gill came to save me, which thank you, JJ, by the way. But what I was coming to tell you is that Michael's actually considering using you and working with you and giving you a chance for this belt. But you didn't let me speak. And you handled it in the worst way possible ever, like usual. So I'm not afraid of Ricky. Ricky has to do the worst things to try and get his point across. But that's an example of you could have your way and you choose not to. Dunno.
I think we've proven through our action, but actually more importantly, Ricky Knight Jr. has proven through his own actions that he isn't as tough as he actually says that he is, or that he appears to be. October Global Wars, I got the win over him. I proved that I'm not afraid of Ricky that night. And what does he do? What does he do after Global Wars? Does he stay tough? And does he keep fighting? No. What he does, he went to you. He went to you in the ring and he said, I'm going home. He took his ball and went home. What's the other cliche? He lost his smile and he just disappeared until I won the title. But again, he couldn't handle that. He attacked me from behind and he breaks it. This isn't even the same title. This is a replacement because he broke the British Heavyweight Championship over my skull. I had to get stitches in the top of my head because of what he did to me that night, the night that I once again reclaimed this. So actually, if you really look at it really closely, I think Ricky Knight Jr. isn't as tough. I think Ricky Knight Jr. might be afraid, maybe not of what I could do to him physically, but he is afraid of the idea of Michael Oku.
Now, you're talking very much like you guys have taken the high road, so to speak, and he's taken the low road throughout these past few months against you. It's a very different Ricky Knight Jr. that we've seen as of late in Rev Pro. But something struck me just tonight at the 229 when you two ended up confronting each other, and that was that you hit Ricky with the heavyweight championship belt, and that's something we haven't seen you do before. And I just wonder whether you've come to a realization, given how obsessed Ricky Knight Jr. clearly is with you, how he's prepared to stoop to any low in order to beat you, that maybe in order to beat him, you're going to have to get down in the dirt with him.
I'm not afraid to do that anymore. And there may be a lot of truth to that, Dave. He's done too much. He's done enough. You know, we came to 229. We weren't scheduled to wrestle. Anything. We're just going to watch the show, enjoy it. And of course, I was going to pay special attention to the Cruiserweight Championship match. I'm going to see how Nino does. Hopefully he has a successful defense. He does. And out comes Ricky Knight Jr. So the amount of times he's laid hands on people around me, he can beat me up as much as he wants, and I'll be fine with that. But then when he's doing it to get to me by attacking Nino, who has nothing to do with the beef between me and him, then yeah, actually, after using my own title against me, after dropping Nino with the Cruiserweight Championship, yeah, I'll take him out. I'll knock him out with this heavyweight championship. It's just, you know, something people ask, like, where does this come from? What's the story between Michael Oku and Ricky Knight Jr.? And it probably is built on jealousy. And again, I'm talking about being honest and admitting things. I think that jealousy works both ways. You know, Ricky, in 2020, he was the guy. During the pandemic, which, by the way, was half a decade ago, he was the guy. And it was clear that nobody was on the momentum and the warpath to the British Heavyweight Championship that Ricky Knight Jr. was. And he did it. But you know what he's become? He's become nothing more than a trivia question answer that everybody's going to get wrong every time. When they ask, who was it that ended Will Ospreay's near 1,000-day reign as champion? They're going to be like, Michael Oku, right? It was Ricky Knight Jr.? They won't know. They won't understand because he did such a horrible job as champion. He had a forgettable reign. These are the facts. We're spitting facts. These are the facts. He had a forgettable reign. Yes, he was the one to do what I couldn't do at that time, and I tried my best to defeat Will Ospreay. I couldn't. He did it, and I hated that. It ate me alive. And I wanted that championship so bad, and when he dropped the ball, guess who picked it up? You're looking at it. And that's just seems to be my role in Rev Pro. I pick up the ball that people feel is too heavy to hold. Ricky Knight Jr. is no different. He kept calling himself for years, and even now, the uncrowned, undisputed British Heavyweight Champion. How long can you be uncrowned? Ricky, I have been busted every single bit of my body. This thumb was broken 2 months ago. And I kept wrestling. I kept it quiet. I kept wrestling. I overcame it. Everybody has seen what happened to my eye. It got lodged further into my skull. I kept wrestling. I kept this championship. Didn't cry about it. I proved to be the standard bearer of professional wrestling in this country and of Revolution Pro Wrestling. And Ricky Knight Jr., the guy who has had, like, people say, I've had everything handed to me. Ricky Knight Jr. was born in this business. He's the one himself that likes to tell everyone, I could lock up before I could walk. I am wrestling royalty. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Your mum was a wrestler. Your dad was a wrestler. Your uncle a wrestler. Your aunt a wrestler. I had nothing. I had to start from the bottom. And I made my way here to the very top. And Ricky Knight Jr., hope you're looking, hope you're listening, because no matter what happens, this whole thing between you and I, this whole thing between you and Rapper and being the champion, it ends at Summer Sizzler. I am ending you, the killer. I'm ending your career. I'm killing your career. You can go back to wherever you came from. Go back to Norwich. Go back to looking after your family. You can sit right beside your uncle. He has his Zaki Potato car, and then right beside him, you can have your own car. You can have your Ricky Knight Jr., your arcade joke ticket, whatever you want to add. You can have it right beside him, because your career after Summer Sizzler is over.